very excited to talk to you both. This is such a fun story, especially since it started as as the written word from a book as well. I guess Mia, can you tell me a little bit about? I guess did you know this book before and coming into it? You know.
Yeah, I knew of the book. Um, I hadn't read it personally before the film, but it's quite popular here, and it's also taught in a lot of our school systems, which is really I didn't actually know that until my friend who's a teacher said that they use it in the curriculum. But yeah, and I mean Tim Winton is a huge writer here, so everybody knows of him, I think.
And I guess I should ask too. What is your both your relationships with I guess the ocean, since it's such a huge part of this story as well.
Yeah, I grew up a little bit away from the ocean. I was a bit of a landlocked mammal
So
where I grew up. So the ocean seemed like a bit of a special treat for other people. And then I moved closer to it as I became an adult. So absolutely love it. Yeah, and I think Robert's done an absolutely incredible job of depicting a real life by and within the ocean with our characters, and the way Dora grows up and the way her mum embraces the natural world and shares it with her. I think it's a really special thing.
yeah, I grew up inland and we would go to the ocean every summer and we would just be so excited. Me and my siblings, it was just the biggest novelty and we would go absolutely crazy when we saw it. And now I live by the sea and I don't think I could ever live away from it. I just feel so much more kind of connected and calm when I'm on the ocean. And yeah, I think I mean, it's, I don't know, I love it. I don't know what else to say.
And then Mia, this story has such it's based upon a mother and daughter and the bond and kind of that the echoes of what we've done or what we learned and who we became one way or the other too. So, how did you kind of approach a character who had a youth that you necessarily weren't there to see necessarily as part of it, but got to kind of create that bond? Did you take some personal, or did you just take everything from the page?
Well, I mean, I guess as you know, as a girl with a mother, I think those universal relationships are really, they're all obviously very individual, but they're very, there's something quite universal about that bond with your mother and the tension as well. And um, and then as far as going, you know, creating the character of Abby with the girls, we crossed over for just a couple of days when I was at the end of my filming block and they were about to start theirs, and they were just so gorgeous. And we didn't sort of, you know, have big conversations about how we were going to do things, but um, it was just so lovely to get a sense of who they were as individuals. And yeah, they've done an amazing job. I think they're just, yeah, gorgeous and very natural and yeah, wonderful qualities.
Eric, of course, working with Robert many times before, what is it like when you see him kind of giddy from something like shooting the ocean? It's got to be something kind of amazing when you get a chance to be up close to all those things and be part of it and kind of just, well, delve in there.
Yeah, look, Robert has the most
He
infectious,
does.
uh, positive energy, and he really is quite a force when he gets a new project and he decides that he's taking it on. He's just like a little
Yeah.
whirly. It's like a little tornado, and he's just so infectious with his positivity and his energy and what he's trying to instill, and as a result, like, he assembles just always a beautiful team of people. So we end up with a really like-minded work ethic, and everyone who works on our films is kind of in it for the right reasons, and it's a wonderful place to be. But to see him tackle this, and just physically, I mean, this, shooting on the water for a director and for the crew is absolutely brutal. Not so much for us because you're not out there every single day, but watching Robert work on this was, yeah, very inspiring. I'm really proud of the work that he does, and I think this film is a real testament to that passion.
And then, of course, Blueback we have to talk about too. But I also want to make the connection. Did either of you have a pet that has stayed with you, essentially, no matter how long that pet lives or whatever? Too. Did you have a young pet of any kind that you still remember fondly? That's still part of your life in some way?
Well, my first pet was a fish.
Oh, good on you.
Just to bring that round to the
Goldfish?
film. Yeah, and like very unoriginally has those bobbly eyes. I think that's a goldfish, right? Anyway, but my pet is my now pet, June, who, yeah, is my dog. And yeah, I mean, not that the goldfish wasn't super memorable, but yeah, my dog's, yeah, is my, I've lost the train of thought. You go.
Well, growing up in a European household, pets weren't a big thing
Yeah,
for
exactly.
us.
We
Yeah,
weren't allowed them.
wasn't allowed. And funnily enough, my dad was a greyhound trainer when I was a kid, so there were greyhounds in the backyard, but they weren't
Pets.
considered pets. So it wasn't until I became an adult and moved out of home that I got my first dog, Jojo, the crazy husky. Yeah, love animals. But never had a fish. I would not have been allowed an aquarium in the house.
Well,
That
it
would have
wasn't an
been
aquarium. It was like a glass jar.
a bowl. Yeah.
Last question, really quickly, Eric. I just want to ask, of course, fan of the dry. We talked to you for that as well, and you got Force of Nature coming out. What was it like, having something that was so huge in many countries, especially Australia, to come back into it and just see not only the family they're in, but also reinvigorated with a character is now very special to a lot of people in a new way.
Oh, the biggest treat. I mean, I've never done a sequel in my life. I've never done a follow up in my life. It's not been something that I've sort of has been high on my list of things to do. And so to get the opportunity organically and naturally, based on the series of books that Jane Harper has written, and obviously the success of the Drive put us in a position where that was a conversation that we could have. I just feel really lucky and really excited, and Rob and I were thrilled to be able to collaborate again, and we're thrilled with the finished product, and can't wait to share it with everyone. So yeah, just a real thrill at this stage in my career to be able to tackle something like that and tick the, what do you want to call it? Not a sequel box, the follow up box. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you both for chatting with me today. I think everyone who watches this are going to find connections not only to family, but also hopefully the ocean as well and conservation, which I think is always a great message nonetheless. And then just the beauty of the water and therein too. So thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. Hope everyone in your world is happy and healthy.
Cheers.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks.
Be good.